I would like to introduce Kate Venuto. She's going to be our speaker today. She is the Director of Marketing and Development at the Ronald McDonald House Charities of the Carolinas. The Greenville office has had the opportunity and the privilege to volunteer with the Ronald McDonald House over the last year and a half. We've been providing meals, dinner for the families that are staying there. It's been very rewarding. We've enjoyed this outreach, and I thought it would be nice to hear more about this wonderful organization and the families that they serve. So I'll let Kate take over.
All right, thank you guys so much for inviting me here this afternoon. This is actually my first time to Greenwood, so I'm excited to be here. And thank you, Brooke, for reaching out and allowing me to come share our mission here to new folks. Let me pull up my PowerPoint. So, can anyone tell me what they believe the Ronald McDonald House does? Any questions? Answers? So, we are a house, home away from home, we like to say, for families to stay while their child is being treated at a nearby medical facility. There are over 300 Ronald McDonald houses in the U.S. and worldwide, and it's the very quickly growing mission and cause in our country today. So when people come to the Ronald McDonald House, their child has to be between the ages of a preemie NICU baby all the way to the age of 21. If that child is in critical condition, an accident, they could have received a cancer diagnosis, any type of chronic condition, that child, their family has a room to stay at the Ronald McDonald House. Our house specifically is located at 706 Grove Road, right across from Greenville Memorial Hospital. And I know your Greenville office is actually 2 streets down from us. We have been there for 25 years. We opened in 1989, and since that time we've served now about, 27 years, we've served 11,000 families. Again, we're home away from home. We're providing that place to stay for your family, meals, transportation to and from GHS and Shriners, all the comforts of home so you can just focus on the healing of your child. This is a family right here who has stayed with us, the Delanos. James has a rare food allergy disease that he suffered from since his birth. He sees a doctor, Dr. Markowitz at GHS, who treats gastro patients, and they travel all the way from Alabama every quarter during the year to see Dr. Markowitz for a few days. We take care of the whole family. One thing people may not know about Ronald McDonald houses is we have no length of stay for the family. It's all dependent on how long your child is being treated and needs treatment at the healthcare facility. So we partner primarily with GHS and their pediatric services, but we do not only provide housing for those families. We are providing housing for Spartanburg Regional Health System, St. Francis. Some of your patients being seen at your Greenville office have stayed at the Ronald McDonald House. There's a behavioral center up in Travelers Rest called Springbrook Behavioral Center. There's an eating disorder center out on Pelham Road. So we are serving any healthcare facility in the upstate area. Their families have a place to stay at our Ronald McDonald House. We have 12 bedrooms. We're currently 10,000 square feet. We also provide laundry services upstairs, downstairs. We have a kitchen area where you guys have come and cooked dinner there. We have internet services, transportation to and from GHS and Shriners. Again, we're providing all the comforts of home so you can just focus on your child. To talk a little bit more about the length of stays that we're seeing, our average length is 11 nights. We have some parents come, they might go to a clinic at Shriners and see a doctor for a repeated visit. 1 or 2 nights they may stay. But then we have patients that primarily if their child is being treated in the NICU or PICU, those are our longer stays. So those stays can be up to 100 days. Our one family last year actually came from Greenwood here, and they were our longest family. They stayed for 254 nights last year. So you can imagine that length of stay, our house does become their home. We're providing everything they need, the meals, so their child can get better and hopefully go home with them. In 2015, we served 395 families. As we've grown since 1989, the pediatric services in the upstate have grown as well. So we have been experiencing the last 10 or so years an instance where we're turning families away. Last year, though we served 395 families, we had to turn away 254. So as amazing it is, we can continue to serve these families. We want to be able to do more, and we need to be able to do more. We are funded. So a lot of people like to know, does McDonald's fund the Ronald McDonald House? Yes, McDonald's is our founding mission partner, but each Ronald McDonald House is governed and operated by staff in their own region. We follow a certain amount of standards to be able to keep the Ronald McDonald House name and charities, and we report back every year to the national office. But all of the donations that we fundraise for and all the donations that come into our Ronald McDonald House in the Charities of the Carolinas stay within Charities of the Carolinas. So 100% of our funding is by local individuals and businesses in the upstate community. Local McDonald's owner-operators, there are 113 stores in our region with about 30 local owner-operators. That includes Greenville, Spartanburg, Asheville. Those men and women, hardworking men and women, they provide certain fundraisers in their stores, and they give 20% of our operating budget comes from the Ronald McDonald restaurant stores. Those things also include, when you're going through the drive-thru, you'll see the canisters. That money comes directly back to our house here. So it's a huge benefit to us, and if you are patrons of McDonald's, if you have spare change, it means the world to a family that's staying at our house in Greenville. Our operating budget is about $750,000. On average, it costs us $150 a night to house a family at the Ronald McDonald House, which is your typical going rate for a hotel stay in Greenville. We also have to add in the fact that we're providing 3 meals a day to those families. So families don't have to stay or don't have to pay to stay at the Ronald McDonald House. We do ask for a $10 a night donation if they can afford it. However, no family's ever turned away if they can't afford that. Only 20% of our guests actually can afford that donation per night. So that's where all of our fundraising comes in to be able to keep the house operating and keep our doors open. This is a story of a young girl named Madeline and her mom, Christy. They stayed with us in 2011. This is just an example of a family story. Madeline was diagnosed with a rare liver cancer around 1 year old, and her mom came to the Ronald McDonald House. The doctors had originally diagnosed her as terminal. Her mom came back to the house, the support of the staff and everyone said, no, keep searching for a cure. She researched, found a doctor at the Cleveland Clinic up in Ohio, and we found a way for her to get transportation and airline ticket up there. He said, come back to Greenville, keep doing your chemo until we can get a liver transplant for you. And actually 2 weeks later, they found a liver for her. We got her another airline ticket up there, and she is, the transplant went well. She's alive and living today. So this is one of our great stories here about a family that, you know, if they may not have been in the environment of a Ronald McDonald House, the culture that we've created, you never know what could have happened. She couldn't have had maybe access to the internet or the resources she needed to find a doctor to be able to provide the care that her daughter needed. I always like to say, yes, we're a physical house, we provide meals, we provide everything you need, laundry, but it's really the community and support that you're given staying at the house that we believe helps the family heal and get better. The people at the Ronald McDonald House, they're all, the 12 guests, the 12 families, they're all going through similar situations. You're over at the hospital, 18 hours a day, you're receiving news that isn't constant. It's a different decision you have to make every hour. It might not be the best news, but you can come back to the Ronald McDonald House. You constantly have your meal ready at 6 o'clock, dinner served, and you can receive that encouragement and support that you need from the other guests staying at the house. Versus if you're going back to a hotel, you're going back by yourself, you're internalizing it, your spouse or partner might be at work, and you might not have anyone to share your circumstances with. Again, our current house is 10,000 square feet, 12 guest rooms. Last year we served 400 families, but we had to turn away 254. This is our future. As of November 1st, we broke ground on 17,000 square feet. This actually is going to be connected and attached to our current facility. There is a lot right next door to our Ronald McDonald House, again across from GHS. And this will be an additional 12 bedrooms, 17,000 square feet. We're going to close down the kitchen in our current house and we'll move it over there to the new house, a larger commercialized kitchen for 24 resident guest rooms. One of the nice features of this is the expanded guest check-in area. See, it looks more like a hotel, the covered area. Guests can pull in, have their own private check-in, and be on their way to go visit their child at the healthcare facility. This is the current house right here, and it will just attach through a little hallway through the back there. There will be no disruptions to the current operation of the house while construction's going on, so we're still actively serving 12 families. And you can see right here, this is us, the smaller broken up house right there, and then the large one attached. We are at 2.1 million out of a $3.5 million campaign, so we are still actively fundraising for the expansion. But we went ahead and broke ground, and we're confident we're going to get the money that we need to be able to expand. So, upcoming events. We hold fundraising events throughout the year to be able to continue our fundraising goals. Our Megala 17 years in running is at the TD Convention Center this Friday. We theme it a different country every year. This year we're taking our guests to India and Bollywood. It's a black tie seated dinner, 3-course meal, silent auction, live auction, dancing, band. Gives you opportunity to kind of get a peek into what the mission of the Ronald McDonald House is and also have some fun during the holidays. Our 13th annual Ronald Cup is a golf tournament held out at Green Valley towards Travelers Rest. That is April 30th and May 1st this year. So just to recap about how anyone can get involved, you guys have already been such a huge help to our mission. Like I said, cooking those meals is really the heart of our house. Those families come over to the house, back to the house, from seeing their child at 6 o'clock every night, and it's very comforting for them to know that there's always a hot meal waiting for them. We have 365 nights a year that some group is coming in, you guys, churches, past families that have actually stayed there, companies, organizations, and they're cooking meals for our families. So that is such a huge help to us. You can become a donor. Like I said, it can be dropping your change in the McDonald's canister. It can be donating monthly to the cause and the mission. You can sponsor an event. You can come to our Megala, our golf tournament. We do a roast, a comedy roast of a Greenville leader in the area. We have a Red Shoe Society that is our young professionals group. That is for young professionals to get involved, ages 22 to 39. And they have their own board of directors. They plan 2 fundraising events a year called the Plane Pool, where yes, they actually pool a plane on the downtown Greenville air mat, and then they do their Greenville Royale in November. So those people, they come and cook dinners. Tonight actually they're decorating our house with Christmas ornaments. So it's a great way to network, meet people your age, and get involved with the cause in Greenville. Or you can come and volunteer. Again, the cooking, the dinner is a huge part of our operating of the house. You can be a operations staff volunteer where you would actually be sitting at the front desk, possibly checking in a family, greeting guests, doing things to help our operations staff. Also, we have an opportunity where you can come and bake cookies for the families. This is, again, it's another opportunity to create comfort, warmth. So when you walk into the house, there's always fresh baked cookies for those families. It's amazing, how many of those cookies that we go through every month, and it's a fun opportunity for you guys to get in the holiday spirit or come with your kids and bake cookies and do something together as a family. And so now with that, I would love to share with you guys a brand new video that we just produced about 2 months ago. You are going to be my first audience that I'm showing this to. I'm very excited. And then we'll be showing it in the gala on Friday night. But it really is a great portrayal of the different families and the different folks all involved in the Ronald McDonald House. So I'm going to go ahead and get that started for you guys.
Families are important to us in Children's Hospital. They're part of the total care that we give. We don't just take care of children. We want to take care of the whole family. We want the family involved. We want the family knowing everything that's going on. We know it doesn't do us any good if we cure a child of whatever and the family falls apart.
The mission of the Ronald McDonald House is to make sure that families are staying together as they would in their own home. When their children are critically ill or injured, they stay over at the hospital or a nearby medical facility. Our mission is to make sure that they have a place to stay, a place to eat, take a shower, be comfortable, and also nurture hope for them. Keeping families together has shown that it really helps with the healing of the child, and that's our job here.
Coming here, I didn't have to worry about anything as far as somewhere to stay, eating, getting to the doctor, make you less worried about what's going on.
The Ronald House is a phenomenal addition to what we do. People come from all over South Carolina to see our physicians. They come from western North Carolina, they come from northern Georgia, and the Ronald House gives them a place where they can have a good meal, where they can sleep. Even better than that, it puts them together with other families who are also having medical difficulties. It reinforces that they're not alone in what they're going through.
In 2009, we had baby twins, Joshua, who was sadly stillborn, and Abby, who was with us for 127 days, which was a roller coaster time in our lives. And we were here at the house for almost all of those days. And then in 2011, we had the opportunity to have our sweet Katie be born, who was also in the NICU, blessedly for a much shorter amount of time. Those two moments, I think, are fixed in our memory, and our connection to the house is inextricable from those. So we're here regularly 4 or 5 times a year to celebrate Katie's life, to celebrate the families that are here, to support them as we can, and to remember and to honor both our kiddos, but also other families that have had great experiences, and families that have had to find their way through loss.
One way that we can honor our children is by cooking a meal for the families that are here currently, that are staying here now and kind of going through the same things that we went through. And so just by doing that, remembering them, but also kind of paying it forward, that's a way that we can benefit the house and the families that are here now.
The challenge is that we are space constrained. As a result, we're having to turn away way too many families, way too many children. In 2015, we turned away or waitlisted over 250 families, which is roughly the number that we served. We're going to double the size of the house. We're initiating a construction project that will take us from 12 bedrooms to 24 bedrooms. We need to raise $3.5 million in
certainly we count on the local community, we count on the corporate sponsors in the local community to help and assist us in making sure that the house is maintained, and that we serve the families in the community. It is all about the families, it's all about the kids. It's not about the town, it's not about the volunteers, it's about the kids and the families.
As a parent, as a citizen of this community, and as a business owner, I feel compelled to support this important project. It is critical that you also get involved. With your help, we can raise the money to double our impact. It's important to our community, it's important to families, and most importantly, it's important to children.
Knowing that you have people that care, it's wonderful. At home I don't have that, and when I get here and see the people want to do for you, it's just awesome. It's awesome.
So that is our mission within that video, and I hope you guys learned a lot today. I'd love to answer any questions you may have, or you can email me after this